Is it possible to build strength and add muscle even as you are closer to 60 than age 50? And why would you want to even do that? Let's talk about it. Hey everybody, it's Mark, and we are back with a video all about adding strength and muscle even as you get older. Now the question is, why would anybody even want to do that? Isn't getting jacked and ripped and adding on massive amounts of muscle something that only applies to people in their 20s and 30s? You know, kind of when you're in the prime of life and doing all that fun stuff that you do when you're younger. Now, as we're getting older, I just kind of want to relax, rest, and enjoy the rest of my life. Well, that's the exact reason why you want to do what you can to build strength and add muscle as you get older. One of the best things we can do to improve the quality of our life as we age is to maintain good quantity of muscle mass and even strength farther and farther into old age. And that is exactly what I've been focusing on this last year. So I want to talk a little bit about what kind of got me to that point and what I've been doing for just about the last year, almost exactly today, since I became really focused and serious about adding strength and building muscle mass even as I get closer to 60 than 50. Okay, so what prompted me to finally get serious about building strength and adding muscle as I get older? Well, it all started really last January or February when I had been running a lot and got an injury. It was that hip adductor, which I've talked about in previous videos, that I had a pretty severe persistent strain of my hip adductor muscle, and that forced me to take almost a month or two off from running almost completely while I kind of rehabbed that, and then I had to work back into running. And during that time, that kind of set off a light bulb in my head that, hey, Mark, you know, something like this, you know, 15 years ago would have set you back for, you know, a few days, and then you'd be back at it. And that got me thinking, well, what do I need to do to make sure that I have less chance of these types of things affecting me as I got older? And then that led me to, hey, I better think about building some strength and adding some muscle mass to kind of fortify me against the next 20 or 30 years of my life. And the reason really for that is one of the biggest or largest causes of death among the elderly, which I think is they consider anybody over the age of 70 for this particular research, I guess, is deaths resulting from falls. So people falling, breaking a hip or something like that, becoming bedridden and never recovering, basically dying as a result of that fall. One of the biggest reasons that people fall is because of a lack of strength and muscle mass and balance and all those things as we get older. So that finally, I guess, forced me to take building strength seriously, you know, as I got to closer to 58 at that point. I was 57 and a half last April. And so I really did a lot of research and found a beginner weightlifting program that should help me build strength over time. And I started that process back in April of last year. And since then, so basically almost exactly a year from when I'm filming this one, is I've made a huge change in my overall strength, and I've added some muscle in the process. And that was exactly my goal. Now the question is, how do you do this, and why would you want to do it? Well, like I said, the biggest reason I'm doing it is not to become a bodybuilder. I mean, take a look at me. Even with my additional weight that I've gained from strength building and adding muscle, I'm still not a big guy, and I never will be. And that's not the point. The point is to add functional muscle and maintain strength for as long as possible so we can reduce the chances of us falling victim to you know, kind of that fall or something that takes us out really quickly. My goal is to live as well as possible for as long as possible. And one of the best ways to do that is to make sure that I am as strong as possible for as long as possible. So that's why I am doing the strength training and working to add muscle mass. And that's why you should as well. Not to become a bodybuilder, but just to become stronger in general. So what have I gained in this last year, and where do I see myself going moving forward? Well, last year in April of 2022, I will post a screenshot from the workout I did up here. I weighed 161 pounds, and I started off doing a program of bench press one day and overhead press or shoulder press the other day. And when I started that last April, my bench press, I was doing 3 sets of 5 at 70 pounds. Now I am doing multiple sets of 5 at 130 to 140 pounds. So a huge increase. I've basically doubled my strength in the bench press since then. On the overhead press, I started at 55 pounds, and now I'm doing multiple sets at 65 to 75 pounds. So once again, a huge increase in strength. So my strength has gone up quite a bit, and it's still continuing to grow. It takes a while. It's not an overnight process. This is over a course of a year, but it is steadily growing. And I am adding muscle mass. Like I said, I'm not a big guy, but I was even less big back before I started weight training. I've gained 15 pounds in the last year. I went from about 161 last April. Now I'm about 175, 176. And where has that weight gone? It's gone to my shoulders, my upper back, and my arms, and also along my back here. I've added significant noticeable muscle back here. My shoulders particularly are a lot bigger and fuller and stronger. My upper back, this trapezius, I think is the muscle here, is just solid. And that's where most of the weight gain has gone. So it's been exactly what I've wanted and hoped that I would gain, would be some muscle mass and the strength to go with it. So what kind of program am I doing? Like I said, I'm only doing weights, lifting heavy weights twice a week. One day for bench press, and then typically 2 days later doing the overhead press. The other day, at least one other day a week, I'm doing body weight type exercises. So think of things like push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups. I just recently got some battle ropes that I've been using here, which is a fantastic workout, but more of kind of, I guess, functional or body weight strength. So it's not a massive amount of time. It's a few hours a week, but it's a very focused and regimented program. I will post links in the description below to the two programs that I've been using over this last year. One is called Starting Strength, which I used kind of April through August or September, and then I switched to what's called the 5-3-1 program, and I follow that loosely to this day. So I'll post links to both of those down there. So I've noticed fantastic results for me, more than I ever thought I would get, and I'm actually, I think, stronger now as somebody that's going to be 59 here in a few months. I am stronger now than I have ever been in my entire life, even when I was in my 20s. I'm able to bench press, overhead press a lot more than I was ever able to do before. The biggest thing I've noticed a difference in is in the pull-ups and chin-ups. I was only able to do 2 or 3, and then I was kind of gassed when I did that a year ago. Now I do multiple sets of 6 to 8, depending on the day, 4 to 5 sets. So strength has gone up tremendously, and that's exactly what I have wanted. My goal is to keep working this program for as long as possible into the future, hopefully building my strength a little bit each year. It's a long-term process. It's not a quick fix. The goal with this is to build strength and then maintain that strength as long as possible. I've noticed great benefits. I've realized some great benefits in this last year, and I would encourage you, if you are thinking about should I be doing something like this, I would 100% say yes, 2 thumbs up, go and start a strength training program, a muscle mass, weight build, strength building, and hopefully adding some muscle along the way. There's lots of different ways to do it. You don't have to do what I did, which is buy an actual barbell set. You could do body weights, you could do kettlebells. There's all kinds of combinations, but the main focus should be on a consistent program over the long term that allows you to consistently build strength. And with that, you will add some muscle mass along the way. And everything you do now in your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and even into your 70s and 80s, you can keep lifting weights as long as you're alive. If you are able to do that over the latter half or the second half of your life, the odds are much greater that you will have a more vital and more engaged and more active life farther and farther into life. And I think that should be the goal for all of us at the end of the day. Hope you found this video useful. I'd love to hear comments from all of you, what type of strength training program you're doing, or if you are doing a strength training program, or if you were thinking of doing a strength training program. Leave a comment down below. Love to see your stories, and maybe we can work together to help motivate each other as we work to build strength even into our 50s and 60s and beyond. So if you like what you're seeing here and you want to share it with others, one of the best things you can do is to hit that subscribe button. First off, go ahead and subscribe and become a part of the community here, and then give us a mighty thumbs up. That's one of the best ways to share what we're doing here on the channel with the rest of the world out there in YouTube land. So give us a thumbs up, go ahead and subscribe and become part of the community. And if you want to see a little bit about what I was doing last August, kind of my mix of strength training and aerobic exercise, check out this video up here. Kind of gives you kind of an update. I was 4 or 5 months into the process at that point. That's it for now. Hope you found this helpful, and until the next one, be well.